Coming to you live from our studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. Whether markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream. Thank you for being here. We are just getting into a new day, a new live stream, a new market analysis session, and a good one for you today as it is 9:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern. We are 30 minutes out from a news event, which is under forexfactory.com considered a red folder or a potentially market-moving event. I'm setting up I've got my iPad in front of me so that I can read chat. Give me 1 second to do so. Just make sure I can see everybody's comments so I can keep up with you guys. Hello, comment while we wait here. Where are you tuning in from? What part of the world are you watching the stream from? If you guys are new to the channel, then you may or may not know that our team here is based in Atlanta, Georgia. We have a studio office where we film these live streams, and thankful to do that every single day. Thanks to our sponsors. We have 3 that make this stuff possible. I'll mention them now. We have Forex Tester, which is a backtesting software that allows traders to test their concepts on theoretical simulated data. We also have a broker from Australia, 8cap, which will make it so that you can trade all sorts of different assets. You can trade with them, crypto, stocks, indices, Forex, all sorts of good stuff. Check them out down below in the description. And of course, we have our latest one, a small prop firm starting up called Super Funded, which has supported our content here and made it possible for these shows to exist. You can check out all of our sponsors down below in the description if you are interested. And let's jump into some chart analysis and see what's going on. Jacob tuning in from Tanzania, Namibia. We have Cali, Pakistan, UK, Netherlands. Cool to see. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. So let's take a look at some stuff. I'm still holding on by a thread to my UJ trade. I entered this trade back here, and you can see price rallied in my favor. We were in a really nice profitable trade, and then it kind of fell apart. But I'm still holding on to the trade, break even currently, locked in. If this trade decides to end up going south against me, then I'm going to be stopped out, and it's okay if that happens. But we've seen so far a little bit of reaction off this level. We'll see if that can hold going into today's news. Again, PMI numbers coming out in about 25 minutes now. So let me go for just a second. I'll show you guys what the news event is and how it could potentially impact our trades if we have any open on USD related pairs. So we have ISM services PMI. What is this? Let's take a look. Well, it's the level of diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers, excluding the manufacturing industry. Of course, a higher number in this than lower than the forecast is good for the currency. And why traders care? It's a leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insight into the company's view of the economy. So again, coming into this news in about 25 minutes, which is going to impact, as you can see right here, likely to impact USD pairs, also things like gold, and of course, the US indices subject to some volatility due to this event. So stick around with me. We're going to be going up until the event, and then I'm going to give you guys coverage and chart ideas as well. So I want to start where we usually tend to start, which is the dollar. So we're looking at the dollar index. This is DXY. I've mentioned recently that I have targets or sights on seeing the dollar continue its way up to the previous high around 105.3. This is my personal target when looking at the dollar. We'll see if I'm right about that, but so far trend looks healthy. We've got an overall upward momentum heavy chart here. And usually, as you guys are familiar, if you watch the streams, you know that when a chart is moving like this, I'm looking to be a buyer. I'm not looking to sell it. I'm not looking to short it. I am just looking to try and hold and ride trends to the best of my ability. Now, here's your daily chart view. You can see a longer term downtrend sort of falling apart here, and now breaking to the upside. So I'm looking for this uptrend to continue. This is kind of my thought process. And you can see short-term targets there at the previous high around 105.28. But on a bigger scale, on a bigger picture, looking for a continuation up to a deeper pullback on this longer-term downward trend at the very least. I mean, if you were to draw fibs off the daily, even a 50% retracement gets us up to about 108, which is a really impressive rally or move potentially, especially as we start to see this thing changing gears, right? We see this shift in momentum switching to the upside. So yeah, something to think about there as we sort of change directions a bit off of that. So back to the lower time frames, we'll look at just our price chart here. Again, my thought process is we had support hold very well. If looking at this zone of support, you can see a huge buy order came in here, pushing this market back up. And now, yes, we are seeing a bit of rejection, but overall, like I said, until this is when it comes to trends, my thought process is innocent until proven guilty, right? So this trend has higher lows, higher highs, right? It's still forming the essence of what we would consider an upward trend off the 4-hour chart. For me, as long as we don't break this and put in a lower low, right? This is still an uptrend. So for me, the dollar is still bullish. That's based on the technical chart, but it goes deeper than that, and we'll definitely take a look at some more things. Can you look at GJ? We may look at GJ, yes, but we have some dollar news this morning, so I'm going to stick to USD pairs mostly. Dollar CAD, yeah, we'll take a look at dollar CAD. Gold, of course, we'll look at gold. May look at the euro as well, pound USD. Jaden, sure, we'll take a look at pound USD as well. And again, my thought process is, like I said, innocent until proven guilty. What makes the dollar trend guilty? A break to the downside. We don't have that right now. So currently, still bullish, right? Yes, a bit of rejection. Yes, seeing a little bit of a little bit of response here. But again, I'm still expecting us to potentially head back higher. Now, again, I could be wrong about this. This is why, new traders, they overestimate the ability of people that have followings and such. I don't know the future. I am a trend follower. I follow what the trend is doing. If the trend flips, I consider myself wrong. I consider myself uh, just flowing with the market, not trying to predict everything. So hopefully that makes sense. Ollie says NZDJPY coming back to the 50% retracement. You might like it. I might have to take a look at that for sure. We're going to stick a little bit to USD pairs first. We are going to cover gold. We're going to cover some of the indices as well. And I think before we jump into some dollar pairs, let me just take a quick look at how the S&P 500 is looking here today. First thing I want to say about the S&P 500 is that, to the bulls' credit, a bit of push to the upside here today, or last couple of days, breaking out of this downward structure. And not necessarily something I'm bullish on per se, but interested. If we can continue to see breaks, retests, breaks, retests, breaks, retests, we put in some higher lows, higher highs concept, the S&P 500 may peak up on my interest list again. But for now, it's just sort of trying to break out. We'll see if this turns into anything. Like I said, I don't care to be the first to the party. I just look to trend follow and follow along with pullbacks and that sort of things. If you guys are enjoying the content, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. And let me just take a quick second. If you guys are new to the stream, if you're a regular viewer and you just want to keep up with the latest, make sure that you're joining our free Discord channel. I'm going to drop a link, or have my team drop a link in the chat right now. If you're on YouTube here with me on the phone, it should be right below you in the live chat feature there. And if you're on your desktop, it'll be on the live chat feature on your right. Click this link, fill out that form, and you can join our Discord 100% free. It takes 2 seconds to join. It's really easy. So just join if you haven't already. And by joining the Discord, we do all sorts of daily analysis, chart markups. We go through current events and news, especially like today's PMI. Like, we're going to be paying attention to that sort of stuff and giving you coverage there. So if you're not already in there, make sure to join that right now. So there we go. Let's keep going. I want to talk a little bit more. So S&P 500, again, not necessarily bullish, but an impressive start to the day, a bit of a push to the upside there. And we'll see if that follows through with the PMI data that we have coming out in about 20 minutes now. Hey, Nick, what's your views on oil? Generally speaking, it's going to match my thoughts on gold. So maybe we'll take a second to look at gold here this morning. I'm going to start fresh so we can get a clean look at gold. Gold, to me, if we're looking at the 4-hour chart, similar sort of structure to the S&P 500. a bit of an impressive breakout here, to be completely honest. Even though I am sort of bearish on gold overall right now, that's a breakout that I have to acknowledge. That's a key break of structure to the upside. And we flipped, at least for the short term, it seems, to the bullish side. However, don't get too excited here because, again, we are still in a pretty sizable downward move recently, and sellers may still be interested in selling this thing when it pops its head up again. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. I don't necessarily love gold to the long or short side at this time. I believe on the Edge Finder, which is our market scanning software, I don't think we have much of a bias on gold. I could be wrong, but let me double check. Gold, yeah, gold is not on the list. So we have nothing, no actual trade setups for gold based on our watch list. If you're new to the stream, I'll go over this in a moment, but basically this is the daily watch list that's generated by our software. It takes a number of indicators, COT data, retail sentiment, seasonality, trend reading, GDP growth, inflation, unemployment, interest rates. It takes all of these things into consideration and it punches out in this column right here a bias for each asset. Now, it does a ton of assets, but it sorts for us automatically the ones that are actually most interesting according to the metrics that we follow. So you can see that gold is on the list. It's just a neutral, doesn't have much of a bias. So we kind of ignore it, at least if I'm looking at it the way I trade using the Edge Finder. I like to look for strong buys, sells, and strong sells as possible charts to look at. So oil and gold, similar in the sense that commodities to me sort of just mixed, not a huge bias there at this current time. Let's look at some other charts. I'd like to look at the euro together with you guys. Again, gold hitting resistance. We'll see how this one plays out here going into the day for the ones watching it. But for me, I don't have much of a bias there. However, I do have a bias on the euro. I'm looking for some sell setups on the euro, and I'll go over that now. So we hit resistance up at 1.068. My thought process on the euro is I'd like to see this thing get bearish again, perhaps primarily isolating this level here. So 1.058. As we go into the news, we have a high and we have a low. These are relative lows of the week. These are relative highs of the week. If we start to see a breakout to the downside, right? Flow starts coming back in to the sell side. This is a trade for me all day long. I just want to see some lower highs and lower lows form in order to sort of see market structure break to the downside and see sellers kind of tackle this market, if that makes sense. So again, euro has been all over the place this past week. We've been up, we've been down. I'm looking for some sort of solid break to the downside, showing that sellers are still in charge in favor of this longer term downtrend. If that makes sense to you on the dollar, I'm sorry, on the euro dollar, do me a favor and type yes in the chat or Y in the chat. Just let me know that that concept makes sense. We have a sideways market. What I'm looking for sell side confirmation is a breakout to the downside and then looking for retest opportunities on the euro. Now, why is the euro so bearish to me? Well, yes, it's the chart, but it's more than just the chart. Again, I think I talk about this often, but retail traders, average traders, they use charts only to do their analysis. We're beyond that. We use more than just the charts to get a full picture as to what the chart is likely to do. So if I'm taking a look at this, I want to show you guys seasonality. This is something I do often on my channel. If I look at the month of March, what is the month of March? You have to ask yourself. Assets tend to move in rotation, in cycles, if you will. And what you'll notice about the euro, we've got the euro dollar selected on the software. And what we can see here is that the last 10-year average for the euro in the month of March is historically a negative month. We typically, March is just starting off, so this is important information, especially right now. The month of March is historically a negative month for the euro. And if we pay attention to that also on the 5-year average, same story. The month of March is historically a negative month for the euro against the dollar. That's information that we can use to better our odds when placing trades. Is it a certainty? No, but it's a tool to use. Now, if we take a look at price forecast, this is just our momentum scanner. Our momentum scanner also favors bearish price action as well. So when looking at the euro, we keep this information in the back of our mind with every trade we're taking. We analyze the edge finder to get confirmation. So what I'm looking for is now the technical chart to agree, quote unquote, with what the edge finder is pointing towards based on the fundamentals and sentiment analysis that it offers. Does that make sense? Type yes in the chat if that makes sense. The concept with seasonality, does that make sense to you? Spam yes in the chat if that makes sense, and we'll move on from that. Next up, we'll take a quick look at what the pound USD is doing and see if there's anything here. Now, pound USD, we've got a very similar story to the euro. So this may be good practice for those of you guys who are newer to this stuff to understand what we're talking about. We've got relative lows of the week here, right? We've marked that in our green zone. This is where buyers seem to be wanting to hold it. And then on the flip side, we have a sell heavy area on this chart around 1.2140. Now, we are currently in what I like to call no man's land. No man's land. We're in the middle between these two zones. Nothing has really shaped up. Thank you guys for the yeses in the chat. I'm glad that makes sense. Okay, cool. So on top of that, and again, guys, we have news coming out in 15 minutes. I just want to disclose that. In case you're just tuning into the stream, we have PMI numbers. Red folder on Forex Factory could cause some serious volatility. I just want you guys to be aware as we get closer to the event. So, cool. Next up is the pound dollar. And the pound dollar, like I said, it's got some relative lows, relative highs. Same thing as the euro. I'm not interested at current levels because, again, this thing has been very choppy, range bound on the 4-hour. I'd like to see this thing break underneath before any sell interest setups come into play. That's my opinion. That's how I'm looking at this. I don't really have any interest at current levels, and I would prefer to see this thing break out, show me that real strength to get us below these levels, and then just looking for retest sells to continue the trend. Now, again, let's go back to the trade that I have on. This trade is teetering to possibly even hitting breaking even. We'll see if that plays out here today. I might get stopped out for break even, which would be okay. I won't mind if it happens. I'll be a little bit bummed that I didn't, of course, see this thing continue. I was hoping that we would hold this area and continue higher. I bought this chart back around this area here, rally to my favor, move stops to break even, and has come all the way back just around break even. This happens, guys, and it's very frustrating when it does because you're like, oh man, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I should have trailed stops tighter. I should have took profits. I should have done this. This is the language of Traders 101. It's a dangerous game to play because if you always say I shoulda, coulda, woulda, it's very hard to ever stick to the plan and stick to a strategy long term. So I have my stops rolled to break even. If this market dips again, I'll be out for a small profit, probably about $50, which of course is not the much higher amounts that we would have gotten. But again, shoulda, woulda, coulda are the worst, most dangerous words that a trader can use. So I try not to actually seriously use them in my trading because, again, no one knows the future of the markets. It's all probabilities and a little bit of educated guessing. So with the dollar yen, I'm looking to see if we can hold this zone. If we do, in fact, find support, I'll continue to hold this trade into the weekend, but otherwise I will be out for a small profit should we hit break even. Okay. That's my take on it so far. Let's continue on. But before we do, let me take 1 second to promote our sponsors of this stream. If you guys are not familiar already with 8cap, they are currently our stream sponsor here, and we're going to roll just a quick little intro. I'll watch the screen change, and then I'll jump into a little bit of an offer they have for you right now. Okay, cool. So usually it's James that does this, but James is currently out of the office today. So let me just run through a little bit of 8cap. Of course, these streams are financially, they require money. The streaming software, the studio, the internet connections, all that sort of stuff is expensive for us on our side. And we rely on sponsors to make all this possible. And we are super thankful and proud to be sponsored by 8cap. 8cap has set up an awesome offer for those of you guys who like our software. We're a software company here at A1 Trading. That software that I mentioned, the Edge Finder, if you would like access to it for free, we've actually set up a partnership with 8cap currently where you can get access to the Edge Finder Basic for 100% free. All you have to do is sign up with an account for $1,000 plus with them. And we have a link down below in the description if you'd like to check that out. If you're interested in getting the Edge Finder for free, that is available there. Make sure to follow the instructions and On the side note for the back end, we actually have a landing page that we've built or that they've built that we should definitely get the link. If Emily could send that to Chandler, we'll have it for the next stream before I forget in my head to remind everybody. But it's a landing page that just goes over all the different information about uh, the Edge Finder and how you can get it for free with ACAP. So make sure to check out that information. Fill out the forms. I'm sorry, fill out the sign up with an account. If you deposit $1,000 or more, you can get the Edge Finder for free. Back to the show. Let's take a look at some more charts. Cool. All right. And let's keep going with our analysis, guys. We've got about 10 minutes here before the news sets in. We've got PMI numbers. And again, just a recap for those of you who are just tuning into the stream, we are expecting or we are having numbers come out for PMI data in just a few moments or about 10 minutes from now. And this is forecasted to come out at 54.5%. The previous was 55.2%. I'm sorry, not percent, 55.2. 54.5 is the forecast. And we are waiting for the actual number to come out here today. So this has impact on a lot of USD pairs, including things like gold and the indices as well. So keep an eye on your charts. If you're a day trader, be very careful as we're about to see that volatility suddenly spike. It could cause trades to go well or bad for you. But again, if you choose to avoid that completely, that's up to you and how you personally like to trade. As a swing trader, I don't usually close trades based on news, but for day traders, I definitely encourage you to at least be aware of upcoming news so that you can make a better informed decision. Again, PMI data, in case you are not familiar with what that means, it's a leading indicator of economic health. Businesses react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insight into the company's view of the economy. So we have that data coming out in about 9 minutes here. So today, again, a recap of the dollar. The dollar is down prior to this news. We'll see if that stays the case. We are expecting some volatility to pick up here on this Friday trading action with the dollar across the board. We went through gold a little bit. We talked about that. Let's also now take a look at dollar CAD, which is one that I said I would do. Let's see if we can start fresh here and just take a look at the latest on dollar CAD. So dollar CAD indicators list showing a nice overall bullish trend to the upside. And a question for the bulls is, has this chart broken back the other direction? We had a little bit of a sell-off. Is that done? And I would say no, right? Trend is still in favor of the bulls. And how do I know that? Well, the way I view it, and again, trend is a bit subjective depending on, if you were to look at purely, let's say, the 10 period moving average, then the trend has flipped, right? Or if you're looking at purely the 20. So there's a bit of subjectivity, but for me, how I have always done it is using the simple market structure stuff, higher lows and higher highs. And predominantly looking at major pivots. And one thing that I like to do, guys, this is a trick that I like to use, is I like to use RSI for this intention. Sometimes people are saying, well, which one is the higher low, higher high? Well, try this out on your chart sometime. I like to use RSI. So this I would consider a higher low because we had an oversold reading that then formed a new high, right? And then we had the next oversold reading was right here, this area here, right? And then we've bounced off that. So I like to use RSI to quantify a higher low, a higher high, that sort of thing. It's just a personal preference. So each time this thing goes up, I would consider that a higher high. An overbought reading considered a higher high, higher high, higher high, right? So just a little trick that I like to use. And again, this is another reason why sometimes people love to just bash indicators saying they're completely useless. I use predominantly market structure and price action for my trading, but indicators I love for simple sort of bringing some level of objectivity to the trend. So there you go. Anyways, market's still in an uptrend in my view here on dollar CAD and looking healthy for continuations to the upside. Now, we'll see. Again, we have PMI data coming out soon, so we'll have to watch to see if that ends up impacting this dollar CAD trade. But let me show you something on the trend continuation side of things. We're zoomed in a little bit more now, and what you can see here is that we've got resistance up top, right? So resistance, supply up in this zone here. If we can get some sort of significant breakout to the upside, right? Break higher, on the news, perhaps, this could offer some continuations going into next week. But if we sell off and we tank through the lows, it could be the opposite effect. That's why we're going to wait to see what the news brings us. I don't claim to know what the news is going to be before. I just know that right now the trend is to the upside. I'm looking for signs of continuation or reversal, right? I don't claim to know what's going to happen next. If this chart gets very strong and we have great data that's solid for the dollar, pullbacks are in order for continuation buys, in my opinion. That's how I like to look at a chart like this, right? I try not to overthink it, try not to over engineer. Price action is really quite simple. Technical analysis can be very complicated if you want it to be, but I've never needed to be, and I've been profitable for years. So the point is, people love to call everything super fancy names and come up with, a million explanations for what price is doing. For me, this chart is moving up. It's simple as that. I'm looking for new highs to show that buyers are in control. And then on a pullback, I'll look for continuation plays. As simple as that. I try and keep it really, really dumb because that's all you need, in my opinion, for technical analysis. It doesn't need to be super complicated. Now, on the other side, we have fundamentals speaking. How about smart money tracker? We can take a look at the Canadian dollar from what institutional money is doing. Here's the Canadian dollar. And when we hover over this, it's going to give us the long and short percentage of institutional data. 68% of institutional money is on the short side when it comes to the Canadian dollar, and 31%, 32% approximately is on the long side of the Canadian dollar. So a majority of institutional money is selling the Canadian dollar, and a majority of money on the institutional side is long the US dollar. Very interesting information. So we have about 70% long, 30% short on the US dollar. So if you think about it, big money is long USD and short the Canadian dollar. Based on that information, that can be extra confluence. If you only look at the chart, you would miss that, right? You have to go look at what COT data is showing you, and that can be a lot of work. So, having some easy way to view it often is why we built the Edge Finder. Again, we do have free data available with the Edge Finder free version. If you don't already have that, let's drop a link in the chat for people who would like to check out the Edge Finder free version, which does include a lot of data, including retail positioning. This is going to show you on the flip side what the little guys are doing. Are retail traders long or short particular assets? Well, dollar CAD, what are they doing? Guess what? They are short USD CAD. This is important information to recognize that, okay, it's trending up, big money is long, and little money or retail traders are short. This gives me extra confirmation to look for long continuations. Is it a certainty? No, but we are stacking probabilities to find better trading setups that max our chance of being in a better trade. If that concept that we just walked through, this is called sentiment analysis, if that made sense, type yes in the chat for me really quick. Let me know if that explanation was solid, if that made sense to you. Just spam yes in the chat would really help me out, just to reinforce that what I said was clear. Guys, we've got about 2 minutes here before the news comes out for PMI. I'm going to set up my charts, and sometimes I do this with like 10 seconds to remain. So let me go ahead and do it on a little bit of a slower scale, and we'll do this. Which charts would you like me to pull up? Comment in the chat as we get going into the news event. Let me know which charts you would like me to pull up. I'm going to go ahead and put USDJPY, my own personal trade. I'm going to take one chart, and then the rest I'm going to wait to see what you guys want me to do. And then I'll do that. Let's see if I can survive this, by the way, guys. If I get stopped out for break even on the news, it's okay. But it's possible. We'll just have to see what PMI data comes out to. Thank you guys for the yeses. I'm glad that made sense. Remember, you can get access to the free version of the Edge Finder on our website, a1trading.com. Do it either now or after the news, but let's keep going and see what's got. We've got gold as a request. We'll happily pull up gold here going into the event. Actually, sorry, let me do this. We'll just watch the reaction. This is a 15-minute chart. And guys, we've got about 40 seconds. So let me go ahead and hurry up here. Pound dollar. Sure. We'll look up pound dollar, see what's going on with the pound. These are 15-minute bars, by the way, what I'm viewing. So I guess last one should be the euro. Yeah, lots of people saying euro. So we'll do that. Okay, guys, so we've got euro in the bottom right, pound top right, dollar yen top left, and gold the bottom left. Let's see what we get out of this news event, if anything. Again, let's see if I can survive my trade. It might go completely against me and end up being a break-even trade for me, but my stop loss is in place, so we're good either ways. So let's see how this plays out. Here comes the numbers. 10 o'clock just hit, and let me know, guys, what you come up with. Okay, wow. All right, a little bit of a spike here to start out the day. I'm so far still in the trade. We'll see if that lasts. Spiking to the upside, dollar yen. We have the pound selling off and euro spiking big to the downside. Um, Wow, that's crazy. Gold also selling off pretty big here, hitting 1842 from its 1848 mark this morning. Euro also selling, but kind of spiking back and forth. If anybody has the numbers, okay, yep, Ali, thank you very much. 55.1 came out. So that is going to be, of course, so we were forecasted to hit 54.5, so lower than expected. Interesting. Um, Pound USD selling off, euro dollar, a little bit of a spike. Here's this dollar yen. Dollar yen, I'm still in the trade. We'll see. Again, volatility is super high during news, so it could completely go back the other direction. But 55.1. Thank you guys for commenting the numbers, by the way. So I'm sorry, did I say that wrong? 55. It was higher than expected. Actual, it's higher than expected. Strong for the currency, for the dollar. Very interesting to see. With an initial reaction to the upside there, pumping up on the dollar yen, pound dollar taking a beating, and so is the euro as we travel back down. This is a 15-minute chart reminder, guys, across the board. And I'm still in that dollar yen trade. That's surprising. I was almost certain I was going to get stopped out for break even. We came very, very close. But again, I shouldn't speak too soon as this is only the beginning of the New York session. We've got coverage for you planned to continue into the next hour or so. So don't go anywhere. We've got another person who's going to join us here in just a moment. But yeah, we that is a crazy sell-off. What's happening? We got to take a look at the NAS and see what's going on with stocks. Interesting. Not too much volatility there. Stocks were strong here this morning, and wow, there goes the dollar. Continues to fly higher. Dollar yen trade still in now in profit, which is baffling considering we were literally on the cusp of break even. So uh, sure enough, probably going to cause some good fun videos. We might have to make some more skits and make some people laugh or cringe or both. Maybe laughing at how cringy some of our stuff is. It is some of our skits are pretty dumb, and we're very aware. But anyways, what a volatility move, guys. Euro selling off, gold back down to 1840, dollar yen pumping to the upside there. Wow. Looking to close my pound index sell positions. Should have added more USDJPY. Oh, should have is the what we know. We know the saying. If you watch the channel, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Those are the worst words to use as traders because they don't do you any good. I should have bought more. I should have sold here. I would have done this. Those don't get you very far in trading. So yes, we're going to turn our attention now, guys. We've got someone else who's coming into the stream to take over. We're going to invite Kenzo. I'm going to say hello to Kenzo. How you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. I don't think we can hear you. I think you might be muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I
Good.
think my microphone was off.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm doing great, man, and I hope everyone is doing great also.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for coming on to the show. Kenzo is a trader from South Africa. He does a mix of technicals and fundamentals, similar to my own style on my channel. He's going to be continuing the show for us and jumping into his own analysis. Great time to do so as the charts are moving here this morning, Kenzo. So I'm going to go ahead and back out of the stream, give you the chance to do your thing. And thank you for coming on. Before I step out, let me remind people, make sure to go check out Kenzo on his own YouTube channel. If you like his analysis that you see in the upcoming minutes, I'm going to go ahead and have our team drop the link for anybody who would like to check out your channel. Kenzo, have a great stream. Thank you for coming on, man.
Okay, thanks, man. So, I hope everyone is doing great, guys. As you know, we actually trade indices. I'm talking about Nasdaq, US status, and S&P 500. So what's really happening actually? So as I started with Nasdaq, and please guys, you can also tell me which pairs do you want me to check. I can see someone already saying Euro GBP, and yeah, GBPUSD. I see some of them, which is fine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start with Nasdaq and see actually what's really happening. So before, like without wasting time, I just want to go on a bigger time frame, which is a daily time frame, just to see actually what's really happening in the market, because sometimes we focus on our smaller time frames and we forget that sometimes we might be very close to the charts. So we need to actually go a little bit and see if maybe we are still on track. We actually have to go back and see if maybe we are still on track. But what I see here is on Nasdaq, just because it's been sideways or going up and down for quite some time now, we have to understand if maybe is the market actually changing the trend to a downtrend, or maybe the market is just trying to reverse from this trend. Because before we see that the market was actually on a very nice downtrend, you see that, and for quite some time, for a very long time. Now we see that the market was pushing up, but it seems like the market is trying to go back again. So what's actually happening there? I can see some, they say they want to check gold there, which I'm going to check. So what's really happening is on Nasdaq, guys, if we draw the trend lines, you hear nothing. I think my microphone is on. I think, yeah, I think my microphone maybe on my side of things. Is this thing not hearing you? Good. Okay, it's fine. So what's really happening is we can see that as this resistant line on a daily time frame, we can easily see that we had a very nice resistant area. Do you see that? Very nice area. Then the market actually broke out, and which means the market was no longer on this downtrend. Now the market is trying to do what? The market maybe is trying to push the upside. Maybe the market is trying to push the upside. So since we are actually on a daily time frame, let's try to go on a 4 hours time frame and try to see actually what's really happening. Let's try to see actually what's really happening. So let me see. So you can see the breakout. The breakout actually happened here. This was the time the market was pushing up. Now the market is coming back here again. So the question is, is the market going to respect this area and start to push the upside? Which seems like so. I think the market is actually trying to come back around this area and try to push the upside. On top there, we also have a sort of a resistance where the market actually respected that area. So we see that actually the market broke out, came back and retest, pushed up, and now it's coming back and it touched that area several times. That's why I think the market will be trying to push the upside. For now, we are still on a very nice bullish move, actually. And we also, even in our group, we actually did actually take that buy. And yeah, I see that the market is slowly pushing up. The market is slowly pushing up. So some they said I can also check gold. Let me check that as quick as possible. Okay, I can see maybe you had some issues with the sound. So I think everyone is worried about gold. Whoa, okay, this is good actually. So this is gold, guys. For those who was trying to say check gold. So what's really happening is since we had this uptrend, the market was pushing up very nice. Then we had a very nice support. Then what do we see? We see that the market broke out of that support. Now the market wants to push the lower side. So when we go closer there, let's see when we go closer there, what's really happening. We see that the market broke out. Now let's see what's really happening. Now the market is pushing to the lower side, but the market was creating this sort of ranging moves. You can see that. So now the market also created this resistant move here. So actually, the market is actually on the resistant area. So which means there is enough chance for the market to do what? To start selling. And I see a very bold bearish candlestick there, which means obviously gold is respecting this zone. Do you see this zone? Just check this area. How many candlestick respected that area? You can see from this area, the market was actually respecting that zone. So that zone actually is the resistant area. But remember, I like this zone because remember, we are actually now on a downtrend. The market was pushing up. The market was pushing to the upside. Then since we broke out, it means now we expect the market to push lower. So once we see the market touches our resistance, that is actually a very nice or a good idea for us to do what? To have a sell position. Unfortunately, I was focusing on Nasdaq and USDT. I did not see gold, and this is a very nice opportunity. I think the market can still push lower for quite some time, but please don't place your entries on a 4 hours time frame or something, because that is actually a bigger time frame. Try to use maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes, right? Sorry. So let's see. USDCHF, AUD USD. Okay, I'm checking the pairs that you want me to check. So actually, since I have realized that mostly when you ask those questions that you say check this, check that, mostly I think are the pairs, mostly are the major pairs. So I will just go straight with that and go one by one until maybe I miss something. Then you can just tell me which one to choose, right? To check. So now we are on GBPUSD. What's really happening on GBPUSD? If you checked, or if maybe you were following my analysis before, you can easily see that the market was actually doing what? The market was pushing to the upside. The market was actually on a very nice uptrend. The market was uptrending until we get a nice breakout. So that breakout happened. Now I'm removing this so that I can just make my chart very clean. So what's really happening here is, from that breakout, I'm expecting the market to keep pushing lower, which means now we are actually on a downtrend. So let's try to zoom very nice there and see what's really happening. So after the market was pushing down, you can easily see that on top there, the market was creating these areas where the market touches and pushes lower, touches and pushes lower. But there are inner structures that we also have to check, which means I'm talking about this horizontal resistance, and you can also get horizontal support on the structure. But at the end of the day, this structure actually, it seems to be going to be a very, very nice wedge where the market will be squeezing up until we get to a point where the market has to break out. The market will be trying to create something like this until we see a breakout to the top, or maybe a breakout to the bottom side. I hope you see that. I hope you see that. So yeah, this is what I see actually. I think the market will be trying to play games around this area until we see a proper breakout. After a proper breakout, it's where we're going to see maybe the market starting to take a bullish move or a bearish move. So let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Uh, Let me check another one because I think, guys, you also want to see so many things. So I will just try. I will just go one by the line that I have here, by my watch list. So now we are on US oil. I saw someone said, Kenzo, check also US oil. What's really actually happening on US oil? Before we even go on these structures, we can easily see that the trend is still very, very, very on a very. It's a very strong bearish momentum. You can see that since back there, the market has been pushing the lower side. So that gives us an idea that actually we're supposed to do what? We're supposed to look for sell positions, right? So when we go on the structure, because I'm not going to explain around this area, we already explained that. I'm going to talk about this zone where we are now currently. So what I see is the market is creating some very nice moves, which we can call that it's an inner structure. the bigger structure or the outer structure is a downtrend. But inside this downtrend, you can see that the market is still doing what? The market is still consolidating. So actually, which means we going to take trades actually around this resistance where we're supposed to do what? We're supposed to sell because that 90% of the time is guaranteed that the market will be pushing lower. So once the market touches maybe our resistance around this area, around 80 there, then it's where we're going to take a sell. Yes, there is a chance for the market to just turn and just push lower. You see, there's a guy, Sheriff, and I see you typing so many lines, man. You're not supposed to do that. You can just ask one question. The name of the pen that I'm using or the tool, it's called Epic Pen. But the guy he was not supposed to like write so many lines like that. So it's called an Epic Pen. Search that on Google. I think you're going to get it. So on on US oil, because I think the guy is now like it's taking me out of my topic. So it's fine. So what are we waiting for here? We're waiting for the market to go touch our, even if the market doesn't really touch there. Why? Because the market is actually on a bearish momentum. There is a chance that the market sometimes won't even touch the resistance, then push lower. Why? Because 90% of the time the market will be pushing lower. You see, but what we have now is we have that resistance or maybe this one on top there, but that won't count for now. So we're waiting for this diagonal resistance to be touched before we say maybe let's jump on that sell. Or if the market breaks this support area, then it's where we can say let's continue with that sell momentum, because already we know the trend is going down. So we're not trying to go against the market. So let's check the other ones. Which is USDJPY. Let me use this on a 4 hours time frame. I think the structure is very nice there. So what's really happening on USDJPY? I think you can also see that, yes, before the market was actually on a very nice downtrend. The market was pushing lower, very nice. The market was pushing lower and it was respecting our resistance area. And guys, this trend lasts longer. What I like about the trends is trends that can last even a year or two or even more. You see, so trends, we're not talking about a week, we're talking for like seriously long time. So that's why we have confidence that if this thing is trending here, it means we're going to have some nice sales along the way, right? So after that, we see that the market actually broke out of that trend. The market was going down nice. Now we see that the market is breaking out. Since the market broke out here, we knew that the market is starting to do what? To change the trend and start to push to the upside. You see, the market is starting to push to the upside. So I don't know if maybe the volume is fine. So the market is starting to do what? To go on a different trend. Now, actually, we're just expecting the market to push up, and that is called an uptrend. And if you saw it from here, and if you understand the trends, you are just going to buy and relax. You are not going to panic because you know that the trends last longer. You see, this is USDJPY, by the way. So, but where we are now, I think the market is going to give us some very nice bullish move again. You can see that the market was consolidating a little bit, breakout, consolidate a little bit, breakout. Now it's consolidating again. I'm expecting the market to do what? To push the upside. Why? Because the market is on that bullish momentum. Yes, sometimes the market can change the trend very quick, but mostly it doesn't really happen every day. So what we see here is, yes, we are still on a bullish momentum. You can get the trades around this area, or you can wait for the market to break this resistance, then you can jump on your trades. I hope you understand that. So uh, let's see. Let's check the other ones. Euro USD. Okay, now we are on Euro USD. I saw someone also asked Euro USD. So what's really happening on Euro USD? For those who actually follow the trends, you can easily see that the market is actually. Let me just use daily, just for everyone to see clearly. I think this candlesticks, they can become very small sometimes. So what I see is the market is actually on a very nice bullish momentum. You can see that the market it's moving like this. You see. So I'm expecting the market to do what? To continue pushing to the upside. But since the market was pushing to the upside, we had like a very aggressive move where the market was doing what? Was creating, we were forced to create another counter trend line or inner support area line actually, just to continue with the structure. But since the market was aggressively pushing up, we now see the market trying to do what? To sell. So is that a downtrend? No, this is just a short rejection actually. It's just a short-term rejection. Yes, if you're going to use a smaller time frame, it's gonna look actually like a downtrend. Actually, it's a downtrend on a smaller time frame, but it's actually going to be something like this. It might touch this area and continue with the trend, because this outer trend is the one which is actually very, very strong. So what do we call this here actually? If we sell here, we just call it a hit and run. Sell, hit and run, so that once the market reaches this area, we will be ready to buy again. I hope you see that. You see. So I see. I think maybe this is what maybe uh, I think maybe this is what happening actually on Euro USD. So let's check the other one. Let's check the other one. USD CAD. I did not see anyone talking about USD CAD. GBPUSD. Think I saw that. Okay. What time is it? We left with 9 minutes. So let me push the one that I think people actually talk about most of the time, which is GBPJPY. What's really happening on GBPJPY? Let me just use 4 hours time frame. I like the structure here, but it's not really the trends that we used to actually. So what's really happening is, yes, you can see that the market moves with this consolidations. The market actually, we moved to this one. Let me remove that. So what's really happening is the market actually creates this sort of structures. It's ranging or consolidation. And with this type of structure, sometimes you can get a proper trend. So we just have to flow with that. You see, we don't actually have to complicate things. If you can identify this, because they happen actually on a bigger time frame, which is 4 hours time frame, or even on a daily time frame. Yes, we can rock with you can rock with that. Then you can, when you are on a resistance, you can sell. When you are on maybe bullish momentum, I mean on support, you can buy. You can even see here, when the market was touching this resistance, the market every time was selling. And with the bigger, with some bigger actually with some bigger moves, after the market touches that area, the market was actually pushing lower. Now the market broke out. The market broke out of that support of that resistant area. Now we see the market trying to push the upside. So we're just waiting for the market to give us a very nice, um, actually a very nice resistance there. We can start here. Actually, that is the first rejection, that a bigger rejection that we got for now. Maybe the market will be trying to create a sort of a move like this, but we will see if maybe that happens. So think someone also said AUD USD. Let me check that, because our time is just flying. Hey, Nasdaq is flying, guys. Nasdaq is seriously flying, and I actually took my profit. Okay, but it's fine. I will check that after. So now we are actually on AUD USD. Really happening. I think before we even check this, I think it's just straightforward. The market was doing. The market actually was pushing to the upside. Now the market is doing what? Now the market is pushing lower. The market was pushing up on an uptrend. Now I see that the market will be trying to push lower. That is the first thing that you should check on the market. Whenever you start to draw the lines, you should understand that, you know what? Now I'm going to look for what? For sell positions. That is just there on the market. So let's zoom there and try to draw our trend lines very nice, and just to understand where we can keep selling, because the market is actually doing what? The market is actually giving us some sell vibes, you see. So now we have something like this. We can still adjust that, because even the market adjusts itself. So it's not like that is fixed. It's fixed for now with the structure because everything's still connecting, but it's not like maybe we not going to change that if the market tries to change. So this is what I see. This is what I see. These lines are very long. These lines are very, very long. So now, actually, where can we keep selling? Because I said it's a sell. I mean, I said it's a downtrend. So it's where you're going to apply your support, resistance, something, the structures that we actually always talk about. They are very important, but yet very simple, actually. Very, very simple. But once you master this, you can go wrong, but not every day. Most of the time, you're going to smash the market. You can see actually. So where I identified this resistance, it's where we're going to do what? It's where we're going to keep selling. So you can see here. So I can't count this one because I think the breakout was this is the first breakout. So you can see the sell here, the nice sell here, another sell here, another sell here. So you can see that by identifying your support resistance inside this trend helps you to keep selling or keep actually scaling up your trades. So where we are now, I see that the market is actually playing around my resistance area. So the question is, if the market breaks this resistance line, is it over? Sometimes yes, most of the times yes, but since we have a resistant area here, sometimes the market might adjust that. If maybe the trend was very steep, sometimes the market can adjust that. And when I say adjust, I mean you might think it's a breakout, but it's not. It's actually not. You might find that the market will actually break here, but just to respect this area, and when we look back we have that area, to touch that area and also come back, or maybe let's say around this area the market can break that. Once you think maybe it's a breakout, maybe you can wait for a retest, and then the market keeps pushing lower, then it means you will have to adjust your diagonal resistance, because even this resistance line, horizontal resistance, still makes sense and is still valid. So just make sure that you don't actually miss that. So let me see if maybe I can check something. Let me see if maybe I can check something for you. Or let's just go back on gold. I think maybe we left with 3 minutes, and see if maybe we can get something. And see if maybe we can get something there. Euro, let me see. GBP. I think no one actually told me to check that. Yeah, let's go back on gold again. So I think this is the one which can give us something for today. So what's really happening on gold? Actually, we are on bearish, but it seems like everything is pushing up. It seems like everything is pushing up. So on gold, it seems like things are still a bit slower. So can you jump on that sell? Uh, Sometimes it's difficult because you see other pairs. They show us that actually dollar it's weaker. So why can you just jump on a sell? So there is a chance that the market can break this resistance and start to push the upside. So I think it's not actually. I can't advise anyone just to jump on the sell, unless if maybe you just let's do the analysis there. Let's do the analysis first. Let's maybe go on 1 hour. I want to show you another structure that we can identify before maybe we jump on that. So we can say if the market, this is 1 hour, by the way. We can say I see a structure here where the market is respecting. It's a diagonal structure, by the way. You can start it maybe from the lower side, maybe from here, it's fine. But I will just like to start it around this area and just to connect everything nice. You can see the market was connecting very nice. So I can say after, if the market breaks out there, if the market breaks out there, but no, it's fine here. You can draw double lines if you want. If the market breaks out here, maybe it's where I will just try to jump on that trade. You see, if the market breaks out, but if not, it means that maybe the market is still respecting this area, even though we see that there's a resistance, sometimes wait for a breakout, then we can take that sell. But for now, as we see that the dollar is getting weaker and weaker, I don't think it's necessary just to jump on a sell. Wait for the market to show you that I'm selling, then you can jump on that. But I think we're gonna look for a buy in few minutes. I think the market will be following the other pairs. I see the other ones, they just pushing against the dollar. You see, I see the other ones, they are just pushing against the dollar. So again, let me check if maybe we'll see what's really happening on USDT. You can see USDT is back again. This is also against the dollar. It shows if the dollar is very strong, mostly we'll see with indices. If it's very strong, you will see that indices actually they will suffer, but we see that the market is not doing that. That's why we might see even gold trying to push the upside. Now here on USDT, USDT has been actually pushing actually down for quite some time. On a daily time frame, I saw a different structure, which gave me actually a confidence to say, you know what, maybe this thing is no longer. Sorry, I think my time is up. You can see. Actually, we had something like this. You can see the market was actually pushing down. Then on top here, we have a nice resistance. You can see that we have a very nice resistance. So on the bottom side here, if we check here, there is a very nice solid line, which we call a support. I think the market, this consolidation structure, let me zoom that you will see. Do you see the structure? I think the market was actually trying to respect that before pushing to the upside. Beside the news or something, you can see on top there, we also have similar structure, which is horizontal. On the bottom side, you can also see that the market actually is trying to repeat the same thing, but you can easily see this on a bigger time frame. You can see that the market is trying to do what? Maybe it's trying to do that. So now I think maybe this might be our next stronger support. So which means we might see the market pushing even higher. We might see the market even pushing even higher towards our resistance, which is going to be good because we can, if we see that, we can just jump on those buys. You can just buy, get out, as long as the market is still respecting the support area. And we're still far from our resistant area, which gives us enough time to do what? Actually, to have some nice buys. So on Nasdaq, also is the same thing. We smashed this one actually in the group. We can see after the breakout, this is the proper retest actually. The market pushed up a nice retest, so I'm expecting the market to actually push the sky actually to our resistant area. So thank you very much, guys. This is Kenzo XtraHot Forex. I think maybe we took even longer, but it's fine, guys. We will see you next week. So yeah, I hope everyone will be great. So thank you very much. Bye.
What's up? What's up? What's going on, fam? A1 Trading. What's the official fam out? What's up, King? I see you there. I see Wardy there. What's up, y'all? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? Welcome, welcome. Lens is a loser. Avoid it. Whoa, buddy. Losing is a part of trading. Losing is a part of trading. If we all won every single trade, we'd be billionaires. We'd be partying up on a yacht right now. You know? I'm about to be on a yacht. I don't know about you, but I can afford a yacht right now. I don't know about you, but hey, the official fan, we're gonna be partying on yachts. You know that. I'm gonna bring y'all with me. So listen, welcome to the stream, y'all. Welcome, welcome. I'm pretty much gonna give a brief overview of what we did today in the market. Um, we didn't take any trades today. As you know, if you've been watching the market, you've seen things are really, really choppy, extremely, extremely choppy. So I'm pretty much just going to go over what I saw today. So let's go with GJ first. Okay. GJ. Now I'm just going to zoom out here just so you can get an idea of what my zones were. But pretty much coming in on the daily, I really don't expect too much from Friday. Friday, we have a top wick, and then we come down and we haven't even broken this low. It's Friday. We typically don't get too much volume on Friday, but nonetheless, we still come here to do what we have to do. So To me, price is in a downtrending range. So when we go on the 4-hour, these are my key levels, right? These are my key levels. We literally have been ping-ponging between here and here for a while now. For a really while now. And you can even see on the 4-hour how we haven't really moved anywhere. You know, so when we go down to the hourly time frame, all we're doing is consolidating, right? There's literally no setups for me personally. The way I trade, there's no setups. Okay, no setups at all. So with that said, you know, you just stay out. You know, if you're gonna force a trade, then you can't get upset if you lose. You know what I'm saying? You can't get upset if you lose, you know. So we really haven't been taking too many trades this year. Things have been extremely choppy. You know, we're adapting, we're adjusting to these zones, okay? This is pretty much what I had. We just stared at it. All right, so let's throw GJ out the trash. Let's move on over to US 30. US 30, what did I see today on US 30? US 30 was an interesting one. I had a little bit of hope for it today, but it didn't give me the confirmations that I wanted. So long story short, I do see that today, Friday, you know, we were bullish on the daily. In my opinion, we were driving up here to the top of this range, right? So once again, another range. We come down to the 4-hour, you can see how choppy this area was, right? This is a very, very choppy area. So I didn't feel comfortable trading in this range. Okay, once price got up here, I did not feel comfortable trading in it. But you're going to see when I move down towards the lower time frame, I'm going to go back towards this morning, just back a little bit. You're going to see we did create a support on top of my zone, and we did push up, but I stayed out of it. Personally, I stayed out. To me, I just deemed it to be too rangy. So it's just one of those times where, you know, your analysis could be correct, but sometimes, you know, you just got to bite the pill and say, you know what, market's choppy, market's a bit indecisive. Let me just stay out a little bit and watch. You know, I'm on my watch mode right now. So again, no trades for me today. But I just want to fast forward it a little bit to, let's see, we'll put it on 15-minute. One thing I want to point out to you is today we did have ISM news. So if I take away those two candles, you're going to see most people predicted this to go bearish because the news was good for the dollar. As the dollar shoots up to the top side, typically you'll see US 30 come down for us, right? So we did come down, but barely, right? When I go over to gold, you're going to see gold had a better move during the shoot down than US 30 did. So again, we're ranging. You know, the market can be extremely unpredictable. You could be correct all you want. You can know the news is going to go down. You can understand that point, but it's going to do what it's going to do. It's going to spike down and spike back up. So it's better to just sit out. All right, so we sat out of that. Next, let's go to gold. Gold was an interesting one today. A little bit of hope in gold today. Just a little bit. These were pretty much my three zones here. 1, 2, and 3. And I promise I'll answer your questions after this. So as you can see, when we look at today, Friday's daily candle, we did break above Thursday's high. We did. But where are we soaring up to, right? We're soaring up to the top of this range, right? You can see how we ranged in this area. So I did figure we would probably soar up to this point. But after this point, if we're inside of a range, well, it's easy for us to just range in here. You know what I mean? So again, stuck in the range. So I'm going to go down all the way to the 15-minute and pretty much show you how this went down. I don't need that line. So when I was on the charts, when I first got on stream, we pretty much created this resistance. We started coming down towards my zone. Cool. You know, I'm watching it. We're consolidating again. We push up here and then watch this big drive down. It's going to be right after this candle. You're going to see price does a complete candle flip to the downside here. Boom. This was a huge candle. And on my stream, I was like, what the heck? 45 pip drop, no confirmation. You know, we like drops like that, but for me, there was no like confirmation for the way that I like to trade. So there are times when we are getting these big moves. It's just not the setups that I personally like to take. But there it is. There's the big move, right? And after the big move, what happens? It's 9:30 opening. So if you know anything about 9:30 New York time, right? NYSE time, it can be a bit complex. So you want to leave that candle alone. Then we go on to 9:45. Now, this candle, I stayed out of it, even though I seen it do a liquidity grab, right? Even though this wick came up, took out this high, we flipped bearish, because I knew that the next candle was going to be the news, right? ISM news. So when we have volatile news coming in, especially a red folder news, you want to be wary of being in a trade right before that, because it can go either way. You can really get spiked out here. So that's why I didn't want to enter in this candle. I completely just left it alone, right? So fast forward here, incoming news came straight down again. Not too fond of the news, stayed away from it, is what it is. It had a nice drop. As it was dropping, it did look pretty good. Dropped another 45 pips. So, long story short, when we've been getting in those volume moves in the market, lately it's been on a news candle, or it's been not random, but it's been kind of without a closure, right? And this candle, we didn't really get the closure that we wanted to see before this dropped. Before this dropped, it was the news. So long story short, it seems to be like we're not really getting these big moves until these times, and then we go back to consolidating. All right, so it's been a bit tough. It's been a bit tough. When you don't see your setup, you don't see your setup. Real Rafa, what's up? Fit girl, see you. Hey Bear, Sleepless, I see you. Lens total look at USD MXD went down 30 pips. Oh, USD Mexican, yeah. Samson, hi Samson, what's up? Joseph, George, I see you. So does anyone have any questions for me? It's been rocky. I've been having my time in trading the last couple months because I haven't been seeing my setups. Things have been choppy. But one thing about trading, I'm gonna tell you something I learned over the years. I've been trading for 9 years, and the market's not the same. I tell my child all the time, before 2020, the moves were a lot cleaner, much more cleaner. Nowadays, you're getting more ranges, more choppiness, and the problem with it is that if you have a system built off of nice zones, like nice clean ranges like this, then you're most likely not going to take a trade when things are ranging like this, right? When we're going sideways. So when you just have to grow and adapt, literally have to grow and adapt. So if you've been trading with me for a while, you can see how we've been adapting to this market. We're taking our time, we're studying, all those good things, What's up, Breon? What's up? That's a real one. Much respect and love. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You said GU. Gotcha. GU. You know what? We'll do GU. I haven't looked at GU in a long time. I literally haven't took out a trade in GU since 2020, believe it or not. A long time. Let's check it out. Whoa. Wow. Don't you love it? Don't you love to see it? What time was this? 8:15? Looks like 8:15. We might have got a little solid, more solid moves here. But yeah, let's start on the daily. Let's work our way down on this one. All right. So me just looking at this at the daily, I'm going to tell you exactly what I see. This is what stands out to me first. I'm going to put a box in this area because I deem this to be a rangy area, right? We ranged in here, then we drove up. Now, mind you, when we drove up, we ranged a little bit more, but the point I want you to get is we ranged in here, and we drove up to this point, right? Makes sense? We ranged again, and then what happened? We drove down. Everyone agree? Okay? Same thing like over here, we drove down, right? What do you notice? You notice that when we drive to another range, we kind of drive within the same area, right? Within the same price points. You're typically going to see price drive within the same price points. Even this little area. Wasn't the best, but general overall we drove, right? So what I want to tell you is if I drag this range over, and it's not going to be perfect, but if I drag it over, what do you see? Well, we're stuck inside of a range on the daily, right? So that's the first thing I see. So always try to look at the market structure on the daily just to get a feel for where we're going to move throughout the week, right? So we're not just ranging on the 15 and on the 30 and on the hour, we're ranging on the daily, right? This is why this has been madness, okay? So I'd look at it from this standpoint, and more or less, I would probably look at this on a lower time frame just to get a general overview, okay? See this nice huge candle here, so this is probably where I would choose to start drawing my zones, most likely. And then I'll go down to the hourly and I'll kind of get a feel for where we are. You can see how nicely these zones already play out, right? You can already see, you know what I mean? You can already see that they're pretty standard. You can always recycle old zones. Where price closes and opens on the daily is extremely important. It's always going to be important. So coming down to the 15, the only thing that I see, if we were up here in the morning, right? I start my stream at 7, so let's put this to 7 o'clock. Hypothetically, it's exactly how I would look at this. I would look at this as, okay, we're on a pretty strong resistance zone. Now, as far as there being a setup for sells, we're just consolidating, right? Consolidating. Yeah, we closed bearish there, but what other signs do we have, right? To me, you need a lot of confluences in trading. That's just my personal perception. I don't just take a trade just because it's retesting off of my zone and it closed bearish. That's not enough for me. I need more, So let's see. So 7:30, we came down here. It looking good, right? It makes you want to take a sell. We broke below this low. Okay. 7:45, we retraced right back up. Right, we retraced right back up. So I'm going to assume that a lot of people probably got tricked out here. And, okay, we're ready to sell it off. What's the problem? Well, the problem is there's liquidity sitting here, right? This is a demand zone, or you could say support zone, right? Support, demand, same thing, right? This is a demand zone on a lower time frame. Look at these wicks. Now look at these wicks. These are steep wicks. There's a lot of liquidity sitting here. So whenever you see liquidity grouping up in the same zone, typically you're going to get a reversal. Okay, so that's just a little something for you if you want to write that down in your notes. I'm going to say it one more time. When you see liquidity building up inside the same zone, typically there comes the reversal. So that's exactly why price did a fake out here, right? Broke the low, made you take a sell, reverse right back up. Okay, we can even look at it on the 30 minute. When you look at it on the 30 minute, you can kind of see it building up, right? We keep coming back to the same zone. It's kind of like a triple bottom in a way, if you want to call it that. Hi Tina, what's up, Tina? All right, so that's one thing I want to point out. Okay, so with that said, make sure you have confirmations. To me, this is no confirmation. We can assume all we want, but as I always say, trade what you see, not what you think. What I see is things are choppy and things make me feel uncomfortable, right? So I personally stay out. When it comes back to this, we created a high here at 9 o'clock. 9:15, we got this closure below. It's not too bad, okay. We retested this a few times. Looks like we got this candle flip play here. Those of you who trade with me all the time, we like this play right here. But unfortunately, that was the news. So, of course, you get your play set up when the news drops, right? What more could we ask for from the market? But long story short, I can briefly explain the play to you just so you understand it. But once you have a nice bearish closure and that next candle is posing some weak bullish, right? This is a weak bullish candle. typically you get what we call on my stream delay flip. And all that really means is just that you're expecting the next candle to start bullish and then kind of flip down quickly, right? It's typically a quick move and boom, there you go. And then it pulls back up. But, they're great setups when you find them. It's just unfortunate that this one happened on the news candle. But again, things are choppy. It's okay to sit back. King says, AJ. Let's see. Is this one cleaner or is it choppy? Oh, ain't that bad. All right, let's check out AJ. I just want to see it on the weekly. Okay, no bueno. No bueno. So the way I would look at this is pretty straightforward, actually. Take it from here to here. Go down to the 4-hour. Wow. Look at this. It's terrible, right? So at least okay, we're stuck between zone A and zone B, right? We're chop, playing ping pong here. So at least you have some secure levels to go off of. So something like this, I would immediately gray it out just to say, okay, I know I'm going to be stuck in these zones for a while. Straight off the bat, I would do that, just so that I have an overview of it on a higher time frame. Now I'm going to take it away because I typically would start at 7 just to get a feel for what it would look like. So for me, it would look like this. Ouch, right? Not what you want to see. So if we're in this range, we just use our basic range knowledge, right? We're in this range and we're driving down. Well, most likely we think we're going to get down to here. Pretty straightforward. But what's the problem with that? Well, the problem with that is we look to the left. There's so much liquidity sitting here, it's just making your eyes roll back, right? So personally, I look at that and say, you know what? Nothing for me. What causes the markets to be choppy? Fundamental aspect? Yes. So there's a few things that cause the market to be choppy. Number one is the increase in new traders. Forex trading in general is starting to trend again, as you can tell. You can probably tell. You see there's a lot more live streamers. There's a lot more people showing their trades. It's trending again, right? People are trying to come up with a new way to make more money, as they should. So when that happens, when we get more traders into the market, it becomes more volatile, right? So what volatility does is it brings in more volume and it brings in more manipulation. I know you don't like that part. You like the volume part, but you don't like the manipulation part, right? We don't like that part. So when there's more manipulation, it's going to cause there to be more wicks. It's going to cause there to be longer wicks, right? So not just more wicks, but longer wicks. It's going to cause more fake outs, right? So it's kind of like take your pick, right? Pick your poison. You want more volume, you want more manipulation. So it causes a lot more manipulation. So that's one big thing. Number two big thing is the economy, right? The state of the world. We're in like a deep depression right now, right? We're still recovering from COVID. Everyone, all countries, we're recovering financially. If you look at the reports, like when the news drops, I want you to take a deeper dive into these news that drop. ISM, CPI, right? Consumer Price Index. All these things are reports based off of consumer spending, right? How much you make from your job versus how much money you have to spend, right? We're grading the economy. The economy is terrible, right? So we're in a recovering economy and things aren't going too well and they're unsure, right? So when they're unsure, things consolidate, right? Now, in general, typically, things are supposed to uptrend forever on US30, right? Things are always supposed to be going up because we're supposed to be going into the future. Things are supposed to get better. We're supposed to be innovative. More money, the better, right? We're supposed to be uptrending overall, but we're stuck. So that's why you see on the daily how we're stuck in these ranges. Even on the weekly, we're stuck in ranges, right? So It's been some time. I believe we're gonna recover, but it's just taking longer than what we want, right? And that's okay. That's just how life is. We can't help those things, but what we can do is we can adapt and adjust to what we see going on to the best of our abilities. You know, to the best of our abilities. That's what I would say. Okay. So does that make sense? Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. Just want to make sure that makes sense to you. I'm so sorry that it's so bright in here. Look, I live in Arizona and the sun is crazy. I love it. But my blinds are closed. I promise you they're closed all the way. But it's just that bright. I'm sorry. But hopefully you can still see me. Anyone have any other questions? That was a great question. Really, really great question. I see A1 trading. So yeah, this is pretty much how I would do my zones on AJ. And I don't even trade AJ, but I can sit here and I can throw key levels up here pretty quickly. Kind of see how we react in them. But yeah, things are choppy everywhere. It's not just your favorite pair, I promise. It's everywhere. Makes sense? Helped a lot? Yeah, no problem. No problem, no problem. So do not be discouraged if you're on your trading journey. Please, if you're watching me, if you're looking at me, do not be discouraged. I promise you, years ago when I was trading, I was blowing my account. I didn't know what to do. I was reading all the books, I don't even know if you can see my books behind me, but I got all my books, but I was all over the place too. And it's very frustrating when you're trying to figure this out and you keep feeling like you're taking steps backwards. So believe in yourself, number one. Work hard. Continue to practice. Continue to backtest. Continue to study. And just continue to think positive, right? Always learning something new. Awesome, King. Awesome, awesome. Have you scalped before? Yeah. I wouldn't consider myself a scalper now, though. I would call myself more of a intraday day trader, right? Because I'm not swing trading, but I do get those like big returns. But I'm more of like intraday, right? I set up my trade for the day, pretty much. I'm not in and out the market or anything like that. I pretty much enter on the 15-minute typically, and we kind of go from there. That's pretty much how I trade. And one thing I'll recommend to you, if you're back testing, especially now with this ranges, I use something called sessions when I back test. I really don't use indicators when I trade, but when I'm back testing, I like to use sessions because it helps me group. Okay, this was Asian session, this was London session, this was New York session. It makes it faster, and I use days of the week, right? So it says today's Friday, Thursday, right? These are just little things I use just to make time go faster when I'm back test. Those are just some suggestions for myself. Midnight candle is just EST time when the midnight candle opened. That's just a reference for myself. I use it as a reference point. But the stuff I use here is just stuff that helps me find my zones faster. So I ain't gotta sit here and do it all up. So just a suggestion for you, those of you who are practicing. What are your main pairs? GJ, gold, US 30. Those are my top three. I do trade NAS. If you're on my stream last year and the year before that, we trade USD CAD and GU. Haven't been trading them in a long time though. I did drop USD CAD maybe about 8 months ago. But there's nothing wrong with it. In my spare time, if I get bored, I'll check it out. But great question. I'm still so new to this game, but I love learning. Yeah, learning's awesome, right? How'd you develop your trading psychology? Yeah, so here's the thing. My thing is, in my opinion, entrepreneurs are born. I feel like we're born because no one has to tell us to go out there and work hard, go out there and figure it out. I've always had a mindset of making money, working on my own, being independent, owning my own business, and just getting to the next level. So at a young age, I tell you this, Growing up where I grew up, it was either you're gonna sell drugs, you're gonna do bad things, or you're gonna work hard, you're gonna go to school and get a degree. So it was kind of like pick your poison, right? So me being smart about it, say, you know what, I'm gonna do this the right way, and I'm gonna figure this out. So entrepreneurship led me into stock trading, and that led me into forex trading. You know, so me, I'm just a problem solver at heart. I really am. Um, and I just figured, you know what? Stock, you need a lot of money to trade. Forex, you can flip your money. You have more leverage in Forex. So once I got into Forex, it was just locked in. Those of you who watch me all the time, I have a degree. I did go to school. I have a bachelor's in business management. So I would say that definitely helped a lot of my psychology. Not that I think you need to go to school to learn these things, but it definitely helped my mindset. I studied entrepreneurship in school as well. So I actually had entrepreneurship classes. And one of my professors, um, extremely wealthy, he had a company that he sold to Google. So he's teaching just for fun. And he is probably the person who taught me some of the best psychology tips that I use to this day. So I would say that's probably how I got better at psychology is by being around people who are already wealthy, right? You want to listen to people who already made it. Don't listen to people who are still struggling, right? Because I call it sideliner input, right? Those are people on the side who are telling you information because they don't want you to get there because they don't think they can get there, right? If someone doesn't believe in themselves, then they don't believe you can do it. You know what I'm saying? So number one thing for psychology is to surround yourself by successful people. Surround yourself by positive people. You know, um, in entrepreneurship, it wasn't just my professor, but he had us go out and I had to talk to different business owners, self-made people. And I had to interview their psychology. So I learned from a lot of people. I'm definitely lucky to have said I've learned from a lot of people. I just combine my knowledge. When you network, combine. Oh, that's a good tip. Okay, cool. Write that one down. You know what I mean? So that's what they say when they say network. What's up, Tony? What's up? What's up? And also reading books. Reading books got to be number one. So network and reading books. That's how you develop psychology. My books back there got me my mindset today. 100%. By the way, I recommend the 10 times rule. If you're looking for a book to read for mindset, 10 times rule. Read that book. Do you only trade those pairs? No, I trade USD CAD and GU. I just haven't in a while. But yeah, I trade USD CAD and GU. What's your advice to someone who experiences a losing streak after a good run? Well, I'm that person right now. Right? If you've been watching me on YouTube for the last 2 years, we made what was it, 230 something percent. I don't know the exact number, but we made 230 something percent. And in October, we started to go on our losing streak. October was the first red month we had on YouTube here. And I'm talking about the live stream call outs. I only do live call outs. I don't do any uploaded from later on earlier. I'm live in real time on YouTube, just like with you right now, calling out live trades. We lost, what was it, 5%? And then in November, we lost another 5% at the end of the month. And then December was a little rocky because I was moving and I was on vacation too. January, we broke even. And then we kind of ended up February, minus 4%. So we went on a losing streak ourselves. Overall, we're up, but we've been on a losing streak. So when it comes to losing streaks, number one thing you need to do is take a look at your trading journal. Number one, look at the trading journal. Number two, look at the conditions on the market. When I look at the conditions on the market, all my losses, I haven't been getting the closures, like the setups that I like to see personally. I haven't been getting my setups, So it's hard when you haven't been getting your setups or when you go on and then you see your setup in London or you see your setup in Asian or your setup happened a couple hours ago. It's hard. So I'm seeing my setup happen less and less and less and less, So what that means is I have to adapt, I have to adjust, and I have to adapt to the market. So again, going on a losing streak, keep your focus. Don't focus on those losses. Focus on looking forward, right? We don't want to look back. We always want to look forward. You know, make sure you're holding yourself accountable in that journal. Make sure you're not repeating the same mistakes. You know, in our trading journal, we make sure we're not repeating the same mistakes, and make sure you're always back testing. Because, like I tell you, this market will evolve. You know, it's evolving right now. You know, if you were on my stream last summer, I called this out. I told y'all this was going to happen this year. I literally told you. I seen it coming. You know, the longer you're up here, the more you're like, okay, I see what's going on here. You know? So yeah, and make sure you stay positive, as always. Always, always. Do you think that risk management is more important than technicals? I think risk management is the most important thing, yes. I do. 100% risk management is the most important thing, because without risk management, you're going to blow your account. You know, we may be on a losing streak. I mean, right now, I wouldn't say we're on one. We're pretty much break even. But, you know, without risk management, that's it. Everything else goes out the window. You know, risk can keep you at a certain point. With risk, you can build yourself up, right? So just to give you an insight on what we changed to, if you've been with me for the 2 years, you know, we usually went for our 10 pips and we dipped. You know why? Well, for me, 10 pips is a lot. You know, I'm blessed enough to have built my account up to where 10 pips is plenty of money for me. You know, and that's how I flipped my account originally. 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips. You know, but now, as you see me adjust to the market, I can't get those 10 pip trades anymore, right? You can't risk 10 pips anymore to get a trade. The way I trade, at least, you know, the way I trade, I can't risk 10 pips. You know, so one of the first things I had to adapt to was, dang, now I got to risk 20 pips per trade. That took some adjusting, right? If you've been doing something for 7 years straight, and then on your 8th year, you got to change it, it's kind of hard, right? Think about where you're at right now in trading. Think about if you finally figured it out, right? And then it comes time to, you're like, okay, dang, the market's changing. What the heck? My concepts don't work. You know, you have to kind of go back to the drawing board. You know, I always say I'm kind of like a scientist in a way, where you got to test out what works, what doesn't work. It takes time to build a trading strategy. It takes time. It took me years. It didn't happen overnight. Are you kidding? I wish. I damn sure wish it happened overnight, but it takes a long time. Okay. So what I want to say is, you know, we get a lot of trolls on our stream, just like anyone else, and we get a lot of people who say that we're scamming and all that. But how am I scamming if I made 200% in front of you live? How am I scamming if I had 20 lot before I had any monetary on YouTube? No pay on YouTube. You know, I've been had this stuff. If you watch my streams, there's no pay on YouTube. 100 views on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, you know. So when it comes to losing is a part of trading. You see people on Instagram, they're always winning. Yeah, so losing is a part of trading. Every pro trader loses. It's not something you can avoid. If we could avoid it, we'd be billionaires. Why would we even have risk management? Risk management would not exist if we never lost. You know, so there's going to be ups and downs in trading. So think about how you're handling your ups and downs right now. You know, you want to shape your mindset, and this is what I'm training those who are in my membership. I want to shape your mindset so that you're prepared when you are full-time for those losing streaks. I don't want you to just be prepared for winning, but I want you to be prepared for losing, because I always say on my stream, you know, rent don't stop. You know, just because you're on a losing streak doesn't mean that your bill's going to pause, right? Your phone bill's not going to pause. Your car note, whatever, you know, car insurance, whatever, you know, your bills aren't going to go on pause because you're on a losing streak. They're not going to go on pause because you lost your account. They're not going to go on pause because you blew your account. You know, so you got to think ahead. So you have to be able to handle these moments. You know, you trade your own profit money. You have your own money. I have my own money. Hey bear, I have my own money. What's your thought on prop firms? I think they're amazing. I think they're amazing. You know why? Because you have that golden opportunity. If you're listening to me right now, you have this opportunity to be able to change your life literally in a year. You literally have it. You literally, what is it? My Forex funds. The 5K on my Forex funds is literally $50. I'm sure you can save up $50. To some of you, $50 is nothing, and then to other you, $50 may be a lot to you right now, and that's okay. But you can still save and take it. The money you get on that payout, you can use it to invest, and then maybe take the 50K or maybe take the 100K. Be smart about it. Be smart. You don't have to go straight to the top and take a 100K challenge. If you can only afford the 5K, do the 5K. You know what I'm saying? Do that. I was paying, you need to fix the camera exposure. It's blinding. I can't do anything about that because I'd have to actually get up and go into my camera settings. But yeah, that's when I stream, it's usually nice and dark in here. But yeah, I'm sorry, I can't really fix that. The Arizona sun, you're gonna have to blame it on the sun. Let me see if I can at least turn off my light. Maybe my light may make a difference for you. Let's see. But any other questions? Nope, the light didn't make a difference. Whoa, that's crazy. The light is off and it still did nothing. Living in the West Coast, huh? Why do you think we don't get taught investing strategies or trading in high school? Great question. I think it's because, number one, people think it's gambling. And I don't call trading gambling. I call it trading strategic analyzing. That's what I believe trading is, strategic analyzing. Now, when you're over leveraging and you're over risking, yeah, then it turns into gambling, right? It can turn into gambling, but I do not believe that the standard thing of trading is gambling. When you have risk management, when you're doing your analysis and you're putting things together, I call it strategic analyzing, right? You're a strategic analyst. You're measuring out the best probability for you to be successful or not successful in your trade. So that's what I think. I think it's because of the mindset of the world. You'll find that most people have a mindset that's against things. They do. And most people, as you know, they don't believe in what they can't do. If they can't do it, then they don't believe you can do it. Why would they believe that? Right? People have small mindsets. That's what you need to learn. When it comes to trading, it's not just about winning trades. It's not just about making money, but it's about keeping money. And for you to keep money, you got to have a good mindset. You have to understand how the world works. You have to understand how money works. You have to understand most people don't have money because they don't understand what money is. You get what I'm saying? So always be one step ahead and ignore the noise, as always. Any tips on how to be a good day trader? Yeah, I got some tips. Number one, you need a plan. So if you're just going into the market blindly, that's not really going to help you out. So number one, you need a plan. Number two is going to be the way to help you make that plan is to backtest. And don't just stop backtesting just because you've been doing good. You got to continue to backtest. I still backtest. I have backtesting with my members tomorrow morning. We backtested last night too, So always strive to be better, right? You look at the NBA, you look at the NFL, or whatever, they're always practicing, right? They don't just go to those games without practice. No, they're required to go to practice, right? You got to continuously work hard to be what you want to be, so continuous backtesting. And risk management, that's an obvious one, right? And yeah, and tips, and my greatest tip would be to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then you're kind of manifesting your own failure. It shouldn't be about what other people think. You shouldn't care. You shouldn't care what other people think. If your family members or your friends or whatever, if they think you're wasting your time trading, if they think that you're going to fail at trading, you shouldn't care about that. That shouldn't even affect you. You should care about your end goal. If anything, you should let that motivate you. You know what I mean? Let it motivate you to say, you know what? I'm going to figure this out. You know, I don't care what anyone says, I'm going to figure it out. Well, the only person that matters is you. You're the important one here. You know? So yeah, pretty basic stuff, but you know, I'm sure if you hear my voice, it's probably stuff you all heard before, right? Anyone else got any questions? Any questions for me? What computer setup do you use? I have 2 monitors and I have a microphone. I don't know if you can see it here. And I have a digital storm computer. So yeah, I have a gaming PC because I do gaming. Yeah, I mean, to each their own. You know, some people like more than 2 monitors, some people just like 1 monitor. But yeah, 2 monitors and a gaming PC. Sometimes I have my MacBook here sitting, my laptop, and sometimes I have my iPad. I don't know, where's my iPad? So yeah, sometimes when we're on stream, I may have my iPad sitting here with me too. So no, it just depends. Yeah, pretty standard. Kind of new to this backtest thing. So you backtest usually, if you wouldn't mind. When you backtest, you want to backtest the pair that you're trading. So whether it's US30 or if it's gold, you know, whatever you're currently trading that you're trying to learn how to trade, I would tell you to just choose one because you want to try to master one at a time. But you would just practice your setups, right? You're practicing strategy. You're testing out to see what works. You're studying the candles. You're really just studying. And I do recommend you to always have a notebook. You know, I'm old school. I do have my online notebook, but I do also have hundreds of these. Literally just simple dollar store notebooks. You can go to Walmart, they're like 50 cents. I have stacks and stacks of these, all colors. And I write. I usually always use a pencil. I like the mechanical pencils personally. You don't have to get that, but this is my personal preference. But make sure you're writing down. You should be writing down everything you're studying. And number one thing to backtesting is make sure you're backtesting the time you trade. A lot of people backtest random times, but you want to backtest the time that you're on the chart because that would make sense, right? If you only trade New York, then just backtest New York. If you only trade London, then backtest London. You know what I mean? What's your strategy? That's what I teach to my members. But just to give you a basic overview, I trade breakouts. So that's like a good summary of it, breakouts. Pretty much. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, great questions today, y'all. Really great questions. Hope you learned something, and I hope it motivates you to continue on your journey, you know. What's your advice to give for trade management? Stop loss too early? Yeah, so I mean, for trade management, one thing you want to do is I always suggest to take partials. So take this off. You don't have to use this, but I'm using the magic keys here. So with the magic keys, I can literally close 50% of my trade, 10%, 90%, 80%, whatever I set it to. I can close a percentage of my trade and secure some money. And then there's a button here that moves your stop loss to break even. Literally just click it, moves it to break even. So now you took off some money and now your stop loss is at break even, so there's no loss. The only problem with that is typically sometimes you cheat yourself, right? You do cheat yourself because you could have made more money. But it's just secure trading, that's more of a preference thing. But yeah, take partials, move them to break even. All right. Do you still trade when you travel? Yes, I do. Yes. So I just moved out here permanently, but I mean, I've been traveling here for like 7 months or 5 months or so, you know, and you would never know because I don't really post too much. I'm not really a flashy person. Um, I don't really care for showboating on social media. My opinion, people live a life on social media for other people. I live my life for myself. Um, you know what I mean? You can go to my channel right now. You don't really see any of my cars. You don't really see really anything. Um, so yeah, so I do trade when I travel, but I tell you what, if I forget my iPad, I'm not trading. Why? I just I don't like trading on my laptop no more. I don't. Once you switch to PC, it's just something about it. It's just you just can't go back. I don't know. I just can't go back. You know. So that's that. All right. But other than that, nowadays when I travel, it is mostly for vacation purposes. So I try not to trade when I travel because I'm on vacation. But honestly, it's if I feel like it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm always looking at the chart. Every day I look at the chart, whether I trade or not. But I try to stay on vacation when I'm on vacation. I have a question. Why does this happen? I start trade setup and it's profitable. Then I start to lose. Change and try different strategies. Start to work again. Yeah. So when you change around to different strategies, or when you change around from demo to live, demo live, demo live, demo live, you go back and forth. Whenever you go back and forth with something, you're gonna feel like, oh, every time I switch, this works. Every time I switch, that works. Because you're not staying on one consistent thing. You know what I'm saying? So you want to stay on one consistent thing so that you have enough data to measure, okay, is this good or is this not good? Right? If you practice that strategy, here's my advice to you. When you backtest this weekend, practice that strategy. Try to take like 20 trades with that strategy when you're backtesting. Mark down if it's a win or a loss. 20 trades, 50 trades, whatever it is. Make it a big number. Win or loss, win or loss, win or loss. And then look at the percentage of your win rate, right? And then do the other strategy. What's the percentage of the win rate, right? Which one is more comfortable for you? You know what I mean? Because then it's just going to feel like you're flopping back and forth. How long did it take you to become profitable? It took me approximately like 3 to 4 years. Yep, 3 to 4 years from like the start of the beginning to stretch it out. It should not have taken me that long, but I'm just like y'all, once you get most of this stuff down, it's really psychology, right? It's how are you sticking to your rules? I got to the point where I did get it down, but then there were times I wasn't sticking to my rules, so then I held myself back. So it could have been quicker, but that's on me. Can you share my FX book? Yeah, I can share it. I don't know who you are, but I can share it. Do you recommend personal or funded? I recommend both. Both, but if you don't have, if you don't have the capital, if you're doing well, you might as well do the funded, right? Why put $100 into account or $1,000 into account if you can invest that and take a funded challenge and be making bank? Save up those payouts, throw it in your own account. You know what I'm saying? Like my Forex funds, what was the 100K? I think it's 500 or is it 600? I think it's 500. Okay, you can put $500 into my Forex funds, take that 100K challenge, and voila, right? Now, what's the difference? Well, with a $500 account, if you put that in your live account, then you can only use a 0.05, right? You can only do 50 cents a pip. which would mean 10 pips to you would be $5, right? You put 500 in the account right now, 10 pips to you is going to be like $5. But if you invested at 500 and you beat the 100K and you get 10 pips, well, you most likely be doing $100 a pip, most likely. Then 10 pips to you would be $1,000. So you're doing the same work. It's literally the same trade. You can make 5 with your live, or you can make 1,000 with the funded. Same trade, same pips. You see the difference? So it is a big difference. It really is a big difference. So, think about it. You can do it. Absolutely, you can do it. What's up, King? Is my guy King. You love using your laptop, your desktop there. Love your lens, love your thoughts. Stay humble. Thank you, Haybeer. Appreciate that. Enough money from FX for living for you. Not sure what that means. But yeah, y'all, I'm going to go about my day here. I want to relax a bit. I just got off of a 3-hour stream. I just spent some time here with y'all. So hopefully I was able to give you enough info to encourage you to continue your journey there. Because if you're listening to me, if you're watching me, I do apologize for the sun lighting. I do apologize for that. But don't focus on that. Focus on the knowledge. People who have a high IQ know to focus on the knowledge because they know that's what's going to make them successful. Okay? You can do it. You can do it. Don't hold yourself back. Think smart. Just do what you need to do to get there. All right? Sounds good. Sounds good. Appreciate y'all coming through. Thank you so much. Think my time is up.
Thanks again for watching today's show. Our goal at A1 Trading is to continue to share free value to our audience through daily videos and articles, keeping you up to date with the latest market coverage. If you enjoy our content, make sure to subscribe for more. And remember, if you open a $1,000 or more trading account with 8cap, you'll receive a free copy of the Edge Finder. Click the link in the description below to find out more. From all of us at A1 Trading, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.